Archangel Michael says, "My beloved child, the hour has come for revelation. A veil is being torn in the spirit, and you are not reading this by coincidence. The Spirit of the living God has brought you here, because what is being whispered in heavenly places about your name is now echoing on the earth, and what has been hidden in the heart of someone close to you is now being exposed. There is a silence that has grown too loud in your atmosphere. You've felt it. You've been feeling it for weeks. Something isn't right, though everything looks perfect on the outside. You've tried to ignore it, hoping the dissonance in your spirit would go away. But it hasn't. There are things God is showing you now because it is the appointed time. This isn't paranoia. This isn't imagination. This is truth, and the truth will set you free, but only if you don't run from it. Archangel Michael says, "The person who wants to marry you is the same one who made a blood oath to destroy you. Open this before the ring is placed." The ring they offered you wasn't forged in love, it was birthed from deceit. You must hear these words not with fear, but with clarity. What they've promised you with their mouth, they have contradicted with their heart. A blood oath, a spiritual binding made in the presence of forces not of light, was spoken in the dark over your name. They called your name not with blessing, but with a vow of ruin. They smiled in front of others, but in secret, their soul made a pact. It was made before they came into your life. The motive wasn't always to love, it was to disarm, to conquer, to take something deeply spiritual that belongs to you and use it for purposes you were never meant to carry. The one who says they love you has done something long ago that you need to see now. They are trying to rewrite their story with you in it, but their hands are still stained with the words they spoke in shadows. They were involved in something. It involved blood. It involved a sacrifice. It involved your name. That name of yours, which heaven holds so precious, was used in a ceremony you were never told about. They called on spirits you've never met. They summoned energies that were never meant to be touched. And in the middle of it, your name was tied. The thread still exists in the spirit realm. But heaven is unraveling it now. Heaven is exposing it before it's too late. This person was told by someone that in order to gain success, power, or wealth, they had to lose something sacred. They were told they had to give someone up, betray someone, or destroy someone they loved. That someone was you. They chose you not just because you were near, but because your spirit shines brightly in realms they don't understand. You've always known there was something about you they didn't treat with the weight it deserved. You've always felt they didn't honor the fullness of who you are. And now, the truth is cracking through the illusion. What you thought was love has been laced with manipulation. What you thought was commitment is tangled in an old promise they made to someone else, a person from their past, a spiritual figure, or even a vow whispered into the air when they were desperate. They tied themselves to an entity that demanded they surrender someone pure in exchange for gain. You were that pure soul. But the exchange will not complete. Because now God has stepped in. The Lord is revealing it before the ceremony, before the signatures, before the rings are exchanged, before the door closes behind you. He's doing it now because He loves you too much to let you enter something that would break you in places you wouldn't recover from easily. You've already been betrayed before. You've already been hurt. God knows the tears you haven't cried in front of anyone. He knows the way your soul folded itself in secret when love turned into confusion. You do not deserve to go through that again. The warning is clear, but so is the rescue. Heaven isn't exposing this to shame you. Heaven is exposing this to deliver you. Your life is not a pawn in someone else's spiritual game. You were chosen for higher things, and the one who tries to stand beside you in covenant must be one whose soul honors the light, not one who signed their name in blood behind closed doors. You've noticed things. You've noticed dreams you couldn't explain. You've seen shadows around this person. You've picked up strange energies when you've touched certain items they gave you. A necklace. A gift. A note. An object that seemed harmless but never felt clean. That's because it wasn't. Something was attached to it. They handed it to you during a time when you were vulnerable, when you trusted too easily, when you weren't asking questions. But now the Spirit of God is stirring the questions in you that you were too afraid to voice before. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about hate. This is about truth. And the truth is, not everyone who smiles with you is on your side. Not everyone who wants to marry you is doing it out of love. Some are marrying out of manipulation, out of spiritual contract, out of ancestral covenant, out of desperation. But God wants your marriage to be pure, holy, safe. Not contaminated with curses, lies, or shadows. Finally, God is exposing this woman. She's been behind much of this. She was the one who gave him the instructions. She may be old. She may be someone who calls herself a guide. She may even present herself as wise or spiritual. But she is tied to something dark. She was the one who stood behind him and whispered in his ear that you were the one to sacrifice, the one to draw close and betray. She's part of something older than you know, a spiritual chain from generations ago that has been operating silently through family lines. She knew your light was different. She knew your soul could disrupt what they had been planning. And so she gave him two choices: lose everything or give you up. And he made the wrong choice. But God, in His mercy, is still giving you time to walk away. To untangle. To burn the item. To cancel the appointment. To close the door. The ring must not be placed. Not this way. You are not crazy for feeling what you feel. You are spiritually awake, and your spirit is catching what your eyes cannot yet see. You've wondered why you feel sick after being around this person sometimes. Why your peace is stolen. Why your joy fades. It's because your soul is reacting to the unseen things. You are not at peace because something is spiritually off. And God is using your body, your intuition, your dreams to warn you. Your angels have been sending you signs. Feathers. Numbers. Repetitive dreams. Names that come up again and again. Conversations that trigger something inside you. All of this is divine orchestration. They've been trying to get your attention, because you've been too close to this fire for too long, and God doesn't want you burned. This message is also a mirror. You must ask yourself, what part of you allowed this in? Was it loneliness? Was it fear? Was it the belief that this was your last chance at love? It wasn't. It is not. The enemy always tries to make you think you're out of time. But heaven does not operate in panic. Heaven operates in precision. The timing of this message is not late. It is right on time. God didn't want to expose it until your heart was ready to obey without questioning. He waited for the moment when your spirit was quiet enough to hear. And now, here you are. You've been praying for confirmation. This is it. You've been asking God to show you clearly. He is. You've begged for a sign. You're reading it now. Archangel Michael has been guarding you, keeping back the full weight of this plan from destroying you before the truth was revealed. He has been assigned to your name. And now he is speaking because the final moment has come. He says, I have stood between you and this oath. I have delayed its fulfillment. I have confused the plans of those who planned your downfall. I have touched the dreams of this man so he cannot rest at night. I have marked your name in fire so no shadow can claim it. I now urge you, leave before the vow is spoken. Cancel the promise before the altar is defiled. You are not meant to marry him. And now God says only once, I am not the God of confusion, but of peace. And where my peace is missing, my hand is not present. Trust me now, even if your heart is breaking. Even if you thought this was your forever. I have seen what you cannot. I have heard what was whispered when no one was watching. I have tasted the bitterness that was mixed into the wine of their affection. I am pulling you out before it poisons you completely. Trust me. Obey me. I will heal what feels broken. I will restore what you fear is lost. I will bring the one who truly loves you, in my time, not yours. Let your tears fall now if they must. Let your heart break open before the altar of God, not the altar of a lie. You are seen. You are known. You are protected. Nothing that was meant to destroy you will prevail. No oath made in blood can hold you when God intervenes. No ring, forged in falsehood, will ever chain you again. God will be with you, rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you, you are safe, you just have to trust God and pray to Him. Keep your heart in His hands. Keep your eyes on His truth. Let Him lead you out and into light. You are chosen. You are covered. You are being rescued. You are not alone. You have not lost anything. What you thought was being taken from you was never truly yours. It was a test wrapped in affection, a trial disguised as companionship. And now that it has been revealed, do not weep over what cannot stay. Mourn only what almost claimed you. Because if this had gone any further, if you had said yes, if the ring had been placed, if the door had closed, you would have walked into a silence so deep your spirit would have started fading, and no one would have noticed until it was too late. The days were numbered, and the trap was close to being complete. But heaven delayed it. That's why the ceremony kept shifting. That's why the money kept falling through. That's why strange things kept happening near each milestone. It wasn't just coincidence, it was God interfering. Deliberately. To give you more time to see. To give your soul more time to recognize the false from the true. Because this person who claimed to love you was not alone. They had help. A woman has been standing beside them in the spirit. Not always in person. Sometimes in dreams. Sometimes through energy. But she has been there, orchestrating, controlling, whispering things that sound like truth but are soaked in poison. She doesn't want you to rise. She doesn't want you free. She fears your awakening. Because once you awaken fully, everything she's built collapses. She tried to block your dreams. She tried to cloud your memory. There are things you used to remember about this person that now feel vague, blurry, far away. That's spiritual interference. They did something to try to rewrite how you see them. But it did not last. The fog is lifting now. Can you feel it? Something in you has started to wake up again. That part of you that used to question things, that used to speak boldly, that used to know when to walk away, it's coming back. And you need it now more than ever. Because what was disguised as a ring was actually a chain. What was planned as a wedding was meant to be a burial of your light, your voice, your discernment. Not in the literal, but in the spirit. You were going to lose parts of yourself you would have never known how to reclaim. That's why the urgency is so loud now. That's why Archangel Michael said, "Open this before the ring is placed." Do not delay. Do not second guess. Heaven never gives warnings like this lightly. This isn't about small flaws. This isn't about someone who just made a few mistakes. This is about spiritual intent. This is about someone who knowingly entered into covenant with darkness and tried to bring you into it without your consent. This is about a soul that made a blood oath, not in desperation, but in alignment. They chose it. And now, they've tried to make you part of it. But it ends here. You were born for purity. Your name was spoken in heaven with promise, long before this earth ever heard it. You carry something ancient inside of you, something beautiful, something royal, something eternal. And every dark force that recognized it has tried to take it from you. But they have failed. Because the hand of God has covered you. You are not defenseless. You are not weak. You are not stuck. You are standing on the edge of a divine escape. The cage is open. The chain is already broken. You just need to take the step. Walk away. Trust what your spirit knows, even if your heart still aches. Even if your mind tries to justify them. Even if you don't yet have all the proof. The Spirit is revealing what the natural hasn't caught up to yet. And listen, this is not the last love you will ever know. You thought it was. You thought no one else would come. You thought this was your only shot. That lie has to die now. Because if you cling to that lie, you'll stay in bondage. There is more. There is better. There is someone whose soul sings the same melody as yours, someone who is not bound by curses, someone who hasn't made secret oaths, someone who has never spoken your name in the dark for selfish gain. Someone is coming. But not until you leave this. Your angels are clearing the way. They are breaking ties even now. They are going into realms you've never seen and pulling your name out of covenants you never agreed to. They are unraveling words spoken over you by envious tongues. They are silencing voices that tried to curse your relationships, your future, your womb, your home. The cleansing has begun. But you must not return to the place that dirted you. Do not go back. This isn't a time to reconsider. This is a time to obey. Immediate obedience is required for complete protection. Do not linger in the gray area. Do not think you can fix what was spiritually poisoned. You cannot heal what God is commanding you to exit. You cannot purify what was founded on blood contracts and deception. Remember the item they gave you? The one that felt strange in your hands? Burn it. Remove it from your home. Pray over your space. Reclaim the atmosphere. Renounce every word you unknowingly agreed to. Speak this aloud: every vow made in my name without my consent is null and void in the name of the Most High God. Every curse spoken over me is broken by the blood of truth. Every ring meant to bind me in darkness shall turn to dust. I renounce every false covenant, and I return to the covering of heaven. Say it again and again until the air in your room shifts. It will. Your ancestors are standing around you. Not all of them, but the righteous ones, the ones who suffered so you wouldn't have to. The ones who prayed without knowing how close you'd come to this snare. They see what's happening now, and they are singing because you are choosing freedom. Because you are choosing God over comfort. Because you are trusting divine intuition over surface-level affection. And now, listen closely. The dreams you are about to have in the next 3 nights will confirm everything. Pay attention. Write them down. The Spirit is going to show you the woman. You will see her face. You will know how long she's been standing there. You will recognize her voice. And you will never doubt again. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Once this false ring is refused, the real one can come. Once the counterfeit covenant is broken, the Holy One can be formed. Once this woman is exposed, your vision will clear. God is not just saving you. He's positioning you. Because you are meant to build something sacred in the earth. Something that can't be built with this person at your side. They were a test. They were a shadow. And now, their season is over. You will cry. You will grieve. But your soul will breathe again. Your body will rest again. Your dreams will sharpen. Your smile will return, not the forced one, not the one you gave in front of people so they wouldn't ask questions, but the real one. The one you had before the confusion set in. Before the spiritual warfare wrapped around your heart like a vine and tried to choke the clarity out of you. You are rising again. You are remembering who you are. And the enemy is terrified. Because now you've seen it. Now you know. Now you've read the message that changes everything. And now, everything will change. Heaven is rejoicing. The angels are dancing. The plan has failed. The trap is broken. The ring will not be placed. And above all, God is with you. Rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You just have to trust God and pray to Him. He is speaking. He is guiding. He is watching over you. And He will never let your light be swallowed by anything lesser than His will. If you believe in God, type Amen.